shift happens. S-H-I-F-T. Now, S-H-I-T happens too. When I see stuff like that, I'm always reminded of three things. Number one, we're all replaceable. Number two, you got to be ready for the step up. Number three is you got to be ready for injuries. Every year when I watch anything on sports, it happens every year. And I can't tell you exactly which team's gonna win, and it doesn't matter, football, baseball, basketball, whatever. I can tell you 100% of the time, some high profile player is gonna go down, and he's gonna get injured, and he's gonna be out for the season. And as devastating as the loss is, the coaches and the team have to figure out what to do and keep winning. And when I see stuff like that, man, I'm reminded that shift happens. S-H-I-F-T. Now, S-H-I-T happens too, but shift happens and things are gonna shift. Nothing stays the same. And you've got to be ready. You know, when things are great, bad is on the way. When it's bad, good is on the way too. Just be ready for the shift. And so when I see stuff like that, I'm always reminded of three things. Number one, we're all replaceable. Number two, you got to be ready for the step up. And then number three is you got to be ready for injuries for yourself. So the first part is you got to realize, dude, we're all replaceable. And you got to understand in sales, man, I had amassed so much knowledge. Been doing this going on 22 years. I'd amassed so much knowledge in sales and worked every department around me. I knew how to work every department. And so I'd built up this false bravado over the years, thinking that I used to say we're all replaceable. I didn't believe I was replaceable until going into my 17th year, 16 of which I'd been in management. They called me in and said, "You're not pulling your weight. We're demoting you." And dude, I knew I wasn't doing well, but I'd walked around still like, "What y'all gonna do?" I mean, I know everything in this store. You can't go on without me. They did. They demoted me. And because I'd developed so many resources, they kept me, but they put me on the bottom rung. So everybody who once answered to me, the following day I had to answer to them. It's a tremendous blow to the ego, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened for me. You got to remember, man, what happens to you also happens for you. And that was the best thing that could have happened for me, because it made me see firsthand that the store's going to go on without you. And don't think for 1 minute, dude, that you're not replaceable. I don't care how much knowledge you got. I don't care how key of a personnel you are replaceable. And don't get it twisted for 1 minute that you're not replaceable. Now, understanding this too, which will roll into the second point, understanding that shift happens. Even if you're not satisfied, if you don't like the position you're in, there's more, and hopefully you do believe that. Hopefully you get to a point where you're not satisfied in the position you're in. I never want you to be satisfied. But even if you're at that point, you have to understand that, number one, you're replaceable. So if you're not happy in the position that you're in, you've got to vacate your position to elevate to the next level. Don't vacate the position because you're not pulling your weight and then some. Vacate the position where you have to move up, because see, someone above you thinks that they're irreplaceable, like I did, and they think they're bulletproof. And so it's not for you to do anything but work on yourself. So if that position opens up, whether it's you or another place of business or whatever, then you're going to be ready. And that's what you got to be ready for the step up. And that's my point number 2. You got to be ready for step up, dude. You can't wait for, and many times what happens is we think and we work along the same level of we do every day. So it's like everything is a level playing ground. We look at everything as points, you know, and it's everything is they're actually, nothing's a straight line. Nothing's linear, I guess is what I need to say. Nothing is linear, dude. So your promotion, your movement, your progress is actually, it may be point 1 to point 7 to point 15. You never know. But you got to be ready. I remember reading Ray Lewis's book, Every Day I Go On, I think is the name of it. And he was talking about that. He practiced like he was a starter because he vowed this. He said, one day that position's going to open up. And when it does, I'm never giving that position back. And so he was so ready. And so he didn't go to Miami as a starter. And so when he got that position, when that position opened up, he never gave that position back. Did the same thing when he was with the Ravens. And now he's in the Hall of Fame. But you've got to play the step up, man. You've got to be ready for the step up. And so I understand that you think that you can do a better job than Fred, and that may be the case. But instead of sitting there in judgment, looking at Fred, talking about, you're sitting there in judgment, looking at Fred, instead of working on your skills. The advantage that you have, that you're in a secondary position, is you get to be on the front row seat of a primary position and see what they do right and what they do wrong, what the everyday tasks are, what the burdens are, yet you don't have to feel the flames. So the beautiful thing about that is you're able to see firsthand and to equip yourself. So when the position opens up, whether it be Fred's position or Sally's position or Tim's position 30 miles down the road, you're ready. You're ready. And it's got to be a seamless transition where you were already mentally ready. You were completely ready in what you were doing. So skillfully, technically. So that way when you got the position, you're ready to go. Now you're going to face injuries, which is my third point. You will face injuries in life, whether it be a physical injury. Athletes know this. They're just trying to stop the clock, man. So you're going to face physical injuries, and you're also going to face some emotional injuries as well. Like right now, dude, my sanctuary is to go run. I love to go run. That is my time away from everything where I can just work things out. And I messed up my knee. I messed up my knee stretching. Out of all the things, I messed my knee up stretching, not even running. But right now I can't pound the pavement. But it doesn't mean I stop working out. It doesn't mean that I don't push myself hard. It's just I got 1.5 legs. So I can do different exercises. I can do other exercises. I can't pound the pavement, but I can do the elliptical machine. I can't do deep squats. I don't like doing deep squats anyway, but I can do squats. I could just do them half. I could still work out. So I've got to deal with the injury and face the rehab, but I got to move on. And so, maybe you're not going to have a physical injury, but you're dealing with a bankruptcy or demotion, or a layoff, or divorce, or the doctor said you got diabetes, whatever, man. You're going to have situations like that, man. When you have those kind of injuries, you have to take the fragments that are left over. Instead of talking about, I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle anymore. Look at what so-and-so did. He left me. Look, I gave all this time to the job, and now all of a sudden, look what they did to me. Instead of sitting there blaming everybody, talking about, I don't have all the pieces to my game, to the board on my game. Dude, let me tell you something. Life's going to go on, and life keeps on going. So what you've got to do is you've got to deal with that injury. So while you're dealing with the injury, understanding that I still have to progress in life. So what I'll deal is what do I have left? What resources do I have left? And then go make it happen. Go make it happen. Like my knee, dude, I could still work out. Okay, when I got demoted, I didn't lose my knowledge. I lost my position. I didn't lose my knowledge. And what it gave me the opportunity to do is, as embarrassing as it was, because I didn't know how to work, that department anymore. I hadn't done it in like, 15, 16 years. I had to relearn it. But now guess what? People come to me and ask me questions when they're wanting to advance in some sort of technical department there. They come to me now and say, how do you do it? Because what I did is I took the position that I was in and I maximized it. I relearned it, and then I advanced it from there. That's what you gotta do, man. That's what you gotta do.
Like this episode? Man, you're gonna like this one even better. Check it out.